freak. Here's my screen. What is this? Oh, I hit the wrong screen. Well, I'm a dummy. And I have no camera. Great start. One sec, chat. 1 sec. And we're back. Alright, so like what happened was when I stream on Twitch, I gotta switch accounts. And every time I switch back, I always forget I gotta reset the camera. We're Gucci. The Chattahoochee. What's up, chat? Happy Friday. May 9th, 2025. Hope you guys had a good Thursday. My day started way earlier than I wanted it to. And I had to go meet up downtown to get a package. And then I was like, you know what, dude? My day started early. I need some coffee. I pull up to a coffee joint, man, they were lying around the block. I was like, I'm not alone in my caffeine needs. So that's why we pushed the start time back 15 minutes. My bad. Here we are. I just updated all the live data in the spreadsheet. Make sure all my other tabs are open. And we're going to do a ton of research. We got 15 games tonight. A little early slate and then big time main slate. Coors Field. It's gonna be fun. Usually these big slates, you know how I like big slates I like for props. The medium slates I like for DFS. So hopefully we can come out with a lot of prop stuff behind tonight. Hopefully this prop day will be better for me than Wednesday. Wednesday was off. Ooh. Spreadsheet. You guys new to the channel? My name's Gun. What we're doing here is we're gonna do some research while adjusting, updating, and referencing the MLBgrind.com premium spreadsheet. Feeding it info so it can spit back projections. Speaking of feeding it info, we need to feed it the current home run odds. That taken care of. So versus other content in the space, this is much more informal, a lot more laid back. All about the vibes. And if you've already done some research, you already got some leans and likes. As we go game by game, man, tell me what you're thinking in chat. Let me know. We're in this together. Yes. You waited one. What I'm doing right now, you guys haven't been with me the last week. We're importing live home run odds. Detector. Now this isn't gonna adjust the bomb detector's opinion on somebody homering. It's going to display potential value, lack thereof, versus bomb detector's rating. So the bomb detector is gonna spit out a probability and a fair market odd, and then using Fanduel as our market representation on what's out there, we'll be able to see if there's some opportunity for sports bettors to get out there. What I'll probably do, I have a list of next step releases. Since I do in the daytime get multiple sports books, I'll probably need to try and come up with a code that can list a few different sports books as a reference, because not every book's going to give you the same odds. The whole point. Yep. I just can't. Don't read around. You guys been good. Effed up. We effed up. All right, so we do have all the games typed up already. We're gonna go verify pitchers, go game by game here. Spins. And as we do it, we're gonna unlock stuff in the spreadsheet for the premium members at MLBgrind.com. Big screen. All right, first game on the docket. Let's put DK early. Braves up against the Pirates. I got Bryce Elder versus Bailey Falter. Braves have got a 4.7 implied run total. Pirates coming in with a new coach, yeah. Well, a little narrative streak there. This is part of a 3-game early set. A little appetizer for the main course, if you will. Elder's coming into this game. 32 innings pitched, a 4.45 expected ERA, 1.38 on the whip, 16% K rate. All those very attackable, very beatable numbers and less than desirable numbers to attach yourself to when you're chasing DFS upside for a pitcher. But it is a 3-game slate. The Pirates have a 4-run total, which is the second lowest on the slate. So you might have to consider Bryce Elder in the grand scheme of things, right? A 4-run total, a team in disarray in a pitcher's park. If you're playing on Fanduel, you're pretty much just jamming Tariq Skubal and going from there. But on DraftKings, yeah, there's going to be an uncomfortable decision with the SP2. I mean, not a single one of these options are going to strike any type of confidence. You got Patrick Corbin, Elder, Falter, Mitchell Parker, and Eric Fetty. So SP2 is going to be a crapshoot here. So is there enough suck on the side of the Pirates for him to give you positive points? And that's really probably what you're opening up your SP2 to from the Department of Redundancy Department. Can I get 10 plus DraftKings fantasy points? And there's a big slate. I'm not touching it. But what are you going to do? Bailey Falter on the bump for the Pirates. 18.5% K rate for him. Less than $1.25 on the whip. A 3.86 expected ERA. Just not missing bats much and not missing barrels much more. A 9% barrel rate and an 18.7% call strike rate. So these are both contact pitchers with certain blemishes that you could take advantage of, especially when it comes to power. Like I said, PNC Park, pitcher friendly, does suppress power, less than 20% average home runs versus the rest of the league when it comes to power, but it more so against righties. Righties have really been suppressed, and lefties can still get you some a little below average. But O'Neal Cruz, obviously, if he's in that leadoff spot, profiles pretty well against Elder, who since the beginning of last year in aggregate 1.8 home run per 9. He does have an elevated ground ball rate, but obviously it's not enough to keep the ball in the park consistently with a 5+ xFIP for 3 years running against lefties. So we'll see if that might be something we get attached to. He's 6K on this slate, and it's gonna be hard to get a 6K guy. I want to say often with Skubal, with a lot of comfort if you're gonna end up pitching some Bryce Elder. Maybe there's a cute lineup out there that has Skubal, Elder, and O'Neal Cruz to be different, but pre-flop, O'Neal Cruz obviously the guy that profiles the best, especially since we can cut down his 30% K rate literally in half. Elder, who has a 14% walk rate and so out of curiosity, looking at the PrizePicks streak, what do we got on Mr. O'Neal Cruz? 8 fantasy points. Move his HR RBI to 2.5. Or you could just jump into the pool for home. Let's pull up the ball detector. How high? Oh. Nines again, dude. O'Neal Cruz is listed but a 369 bomb rating. That's a 15% probability. So he's a negative value according to the spreadsheet. I do think a lot of that, not to say a lot of that, but I don't think he's like shooting at the top just because Elder does have a 50% ground ball rate and last year over 40%. But it's just almost homer, walk, or ground ball against lefties. I don't hate it. Inversely, Bailey Falter, 3.86 expected ERA. Braves are going to come in with the second highest run total on the slate. They're going to look their way, and we do like their power righties more than anything. And maybe this part does kind of shut that down a little bit. Maybe you steal a warning track out or something like that. But Austin Riley, Marcell Ozuna are both guys I would be pretty interested in. Even Matt Olson has surprisingly good splits. Matter of fact, maybe even better split. Dude, yeah, he's got a higher ISO since the beginning of last year against lefties and a higher average. So he might be a sneaky guy to not leave out there. And of course, Sean Murphy in the mix. So we're gonna go Braves at the top of the interest ranking. They Pirates Substack, but it's a heavy focus on like O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds, Cuts, maybe. And then you're coin flipping your SP2 on DraftKings. So I don't want to have to them. Good. We do have some wind here too. Let me open up the weather report too. Off. That. It looks like there could be some. What up, Pojen? Doing all right. He doesn't specifically in anything win, but man, I tell you what, for the week that we've had, 15 games tonight, to not see any orange, won't he do it? Won't he do it? But I do see potential wins out there to 8. So another good reason I like O'Neal Cruz. Here, what up, Jay? Jermaine. Oh. Thinking about, I'll tell you what. I'll make a little list. Every time I start a list, I don't keep with it. I'm gonna go Braves, Neil Cruz, or not, yeah, Pirates, and Riley, but also Olsen, man. I think Olsen could. Hefty split right there. We got a good fantasy point. Five and a half. That's not real, right? Hello? 5.5? All day? Hello? Dude. Yes, please. And 5.5 FPS. That seems crazy. I won't wait for actual lineups, but this average allowed, this home run per 9, Olsen's reverse splits, right? Yeah, I'm in on that. I wish I had a bunch of stuff ready to go right now, and I just damn it, well, it's still 5.5, but even under 6.5, I'm in. So, all day, every day. Let's get your projections going for this game. There we're gonna give 17% K rate. Alter, I'm gonna give walk rate. The left. Nine. Outs. 8.5. Older. Cool. All right, next game, Rangers and the Tigers. Rangers with a 2.9 implied run total. Once you get below 3, it's oh my territory. And Tariq Scooble's been that guy, pal. 30% K rate since the beginning of last year overall. Just so consistent. Has a lot more homers this year. It correlates with a higher line drive rate, lower ground ball rate, higher hard contact rate. But between me and you and me, I'm not that too scared of this Rangers lineup. They have one hitter with extreme WRC plus in the positive category against lefties since the beginning of last year. I always give Corey Seager some respect. He actually has been pretty one-sided. Semien off to a bad start this year. So this is a lineup, and we might also see like a version of this lineup that has like Kevin Pillar or Kyle Higashioka. I don't know what they're gonna do, but there's not really a lineup that's gonna get me off of Scooble, especially on this 3-game slate. You'd almost take the floorist of floor games from him on this slate, because his floor in a bad game, knock on wood, probably still gonna be the mark for everyone else. So we're gonna Scooble top of the chart without a doubt. Patrick Corbin, no. I got his last couple games. Ever since that Angels games, I gotta keep tabs on him. What's up, Rob? Doing all right. Friday. Corbin, since that Angels game, a 12% swinging strike rate, 12% swinging strike rate, 7% against the Athletics twice, and then Seattle. Not getting much chasing. 495 xFIP 312 468. He was all over the. I just have no historical trust for Patrick Corbin. Not going to start now. I need. We're going to go Tiger Stack second. But because of the park, because of the 60-degree temps, by the way, it is high 50s in PNC. I think you at least consider Corbin, as ugly as that sounds on this 2-game slate, because you do have to pick 2 pitchers. And no other pitcher has a K rate worth even blinking at. 18.5, 15.9, 16. Like every other pitcher is half of Scooble's K rate at best. So you gotta get past your humanistic pessimism on Patrick Corbin and consider the range of outcomes for him to have a plus game in Comerica in a deep park that's going to suppress some homers and yeah, so it's not a fun click. I'm not gonna type him here, but it is what it is. That's what we gotta deal with. So we'll go Scooble and the Tigers. The reason I do like the Tigers is this team has been sneaky good, and is also my favorite split for the Tigers, hitting lefties, especially beatable lefties that have a 1.5 whip. Gleyber Torres, Riley Green, Andy Ibanez, Spencer Torkelson, even Justin Henry Malloy. All those guys have really decent plus power. Other than Riley Green, a lot of plus in the WRC plus as well. And you could... Javi Baez is like a weird case. Like a very weird case. If you guys, without looking, if you haven't paid attention to Javi Baez, what do you think his batting average is this year? Pencils down. Got a 317 batting average. How? How? It's almost unexplainable, but his Baseball Savant page went over this the other day. It's very bad all the way around. Lately, we've seen some power out of him. What's his? Got a 239 expected batting average, so you know, due for some regression, you could say. But somehow he's getting it done. So against Patrick Corbin, crazier things can happen. What up, Ryan? One thing that makes me question Tigers this game was doubleheader and high. Yeah, you might get a funky lineup, but I don't want to overthink small slates sometimes. Way to place, but I do think you could use that if you're managing a portfolio of lineups. Like I said, SP2, find some random reason like one guy or the other. Corbin sneaks through another game. The Tigers do have highest run total on the slate. Let's go get your projections here. And K rate on Corbin, 30% for full. Walk rate here, 8. We're gonna go. Outs. I'm assuming Scooble's gonna be 17.5 or 8. 17.5. Yeah, I'm gonna smooth 18. So let's give Scooble 4 towards a quality start. We'll leave off the win implication. This projections. Next guy up. The spreadsheet on the projected gives me a 7 strikeout projection. 6.5 by the 7, so I'm pretty in line with that. I don't really want to attack this game for props. Probably won't. I'll leave that off the list. But if I did, it would be Tigers handoff with Corbin over. Usually get his runs half down or 2.5. I don't know. You can move it around from 2.5. They really push the envelope on these Corbin projections. So I probably won't put any action on that on this game. 15 games, right? I want to feel the best. I do like a couple options from. All right, last game on this 3-game early set. Cardinals. New Pope narrative. I don't know. Taking on the Nationals. Cardinals have a 4.3 run total. Eric Fetty flop on the bump up against Mitchell Parker. Cardinals lineup just green lighted as I got here, so that's good. Newt Barr, Mason Wynn, Donovan, Arenado, Contreras, Juan Herrera, Jordan Walker, Angel Paez. I can mention it. Looking at Jordan Walker's name, sometimes Twitter recommends me some craziness, and I did see a interesting conversation about Jordan Walker. He has increased his bat speed a lot and sucks at everything else. So there's a theory, and we kind of glossed over it with like Vinny Pasquantino, that swinging faster doesn't make you better. And in Jordan Walker's case, it's arguably making him worse. You look at his 2023 campaign versus now. They track. Definitely. All right. So we'll go to 2023 where he was good. This year he's at 77.6. 2023 he was at 74.9. So increasing his bat speed looks cool on the baseball savant, but it's really not. And Vinny Pasquantino said that he increased his bat speed, he got stronger, and he blames that for more strikeouts, which I get it. You swing faster, you're expecting to swing hard. But you got to adjust everything else. You have not seen Jordan Walker do that. You are a Jordan Walker truther, believer, or trying to figure out what happened to him. That seems to be the thing. Anyway, Cardinals and Nationals. Maybe all this talking about Jordan Walker will get him to homer today. Mitchell Parker, a 12% K rate this season. Almost a 10% swinging strike rate, but a 13.5% call strike rate, 41.1 innings pitched. If you didn't show me this K column, you showed me last year's K column with the swinging strike rate and call strike rate, I would assume he's still close to the 20% K rate. So maybe there's a little bit of unluckiness when it comes to the results here. But it looks like the biggest diminish, I guess, is just against both sides. 10% less against lefties, 10% less like righties. Maybe we take a look at his strength of schedule. At Cincy, Mets, Baltimore, and all over the place. There's definitely some tough matchups. Man, 0 strikeouts in 5 innings against. There's your problem. Yeah, he's struggling to miss some. But he does have a 3.86 expected ERA. Solid ground ball rate to both sides and a low average allowed. I'm thinking which SP2 on that slate has most likely to not get shelled. Is it him? I don't know, man. His weakness tends to lose his own. He walks lefties and righties, so a lot of strikeouts have turned into. Doesn't allow much power. It's just a 3.8% barrel rate. He's the guy that doesn't die for 10 plus points. Huh? Eric Fetty, a 13% K rate for him, 7% swinging strike rate, 1.46 whip, almost 5.5 whip. Walking both sides of the plate at a high clip. And this Nationals team all season long really hasn't given you a ton of upside for strikeouts. This projected sub 20% aggregate K rate, with a lot of that being James Wood. That is that's a dangerous bat, and his 30% K rate can be chopped in half, neutralized by that 12% K rate. So I think we're gonna go Nationals above anything here, but stack. That's it. Like I don't love anything else to isolate and focus on. Dude, coffee gets cold real quick. What up, RC? Hope you've been alright. All these gallons of water around me. Gotta stay hydrated, chat. A gallon a day. Do it. Get our pitcher projection in, and then we can release this slate for the premium members. Mr. Fetty. Push him up to a 16% K rate. Mitchell Parker. 14. Walk rate. I'm gonna gotta show it. And I'm gonna guess 16.5 for both. Oh. I do this. That'll give us EK, Tariq Skubal, Elder came in second. Then Corbin, then Falter. There's like a 1 point, literally a 1 point deviation from Fetty to Corbin. Hey man, good luck. Fanduel, it's Tariq Skubal. Gonna want to not do it. Afternoon stack rating. Let's get that. Get up. Actually, Tigers might. Detroit. I'm assuming. Braves. Oh, it's the Tigers. Tigers came up top. 539 on the stack rating for DraftKings. Atlanta, then Washington. Pre-flop, those are the guys. So Pittsburgh being the team you're less likely to stack, which is going to push Bryce Elder up. Did that give us Mitchell Parker as 2? Interesting. All right. Start early. As far as this game goes, I do kind of like the thought of James Wood against Fetty's contact profile. James was pretty good. Matriculate onto the main slate. 12 games on the main. Roth didn't say anything about Tampa, did he? Running back our Tampa for Storms. Brewers at Tampa. Starting to get temps high. I actually looked at my local temperature, and next Tuesday we're hitting 98 degrees. So numbers here, boys. If it's hot here, it's all these equator southern states are going to be hot too, especially a place like Florida. So this Rays Steinbrenner Field, even though they've tried to front load a lot of their schedule, they're still going to have some games here throughout the summer. And I think that stadium's going to play so crazy with the heat and the dimensions of the park all conspiring for greatness, and we're starting to see it. We've already got about a 10 run total for this game. Look forward at like Coors is at like 11.5. Anytime you get like a 10 run play, but no, we get it out here in Tampa. So Jose Quintana taking on Zach Littell. Quintana an 18% K rate. So just like the same pitcher year by year. His actual ERA outperforming his underlying metrics. The expected ERA 4.2. The swinging striker, I mean, he's a pure contact guy. Hopes to keep the ball on the ground, but has allowed a lot of homers consistently over the last 3 years against lefties. Be unique to see Kevin Cash's response to this, because Kevin Cash has been extreme platoon guy. Meaning he loads the lineup with opposite handedness to the opposing pitcher as much as possible. But I always think of the Rays as like one of the most analytically advanced organizations. But, a lot of people don't believe in lefty, reverse splits and stuff like that. But man, we got 3 years of him allowing a lot of power to lefties consistently. So you wonder if he sneaks a Brandon Lau higher in the order, or like a Chandler Simpson instead of batting him ninth against lefty. You know what I mean? Like they do something weird like that. Be something to watch. See how goofy they get. Zach Littell, 15% K rate for him this season, 8.6% swing and strike rate, all 14% barrel rate. That's not what you want, and he is allowing homers by the dozen. And we do got some powerful bats in the Brewers lineup. We're looking at Christian Yelich first and foremost, but we look at these righty splits for the last 3 years, a 1.3 plus home run per nine, and now putting him in Steinbrenner more often than not. And you could tap into maybe Rhys Hoskins and definitely William Contreras for fun swings there. So looks like a fun opportunity for offense really on both sides. With the Rays, you're kind of just gonna bet on talent here and get what you get, instead of looking at the matchup and be like, okay, Quintana should talk against Junior Caminero. Really has held his own for the most part. But this weather in this park could shake things up. So we're kind of blind stacking them. And then we also know that the Brewers bullpen has struggled mightily this season. So if they can get through Quintana faster and get into that bullpen, could create some later quality. So I'm going to go Brewers since we know what we got for 9 innings. Then Rays. Then I have no interest in rostering either pitcher. So let's get our pitching projection set up. Let's go 18% K rate on Donna for Zach. Let's go. I'll push him to 6%. to meet a little bit of credit for last year. But his swing and strike rate is truly down in 41. Too much credit. Walk rate, go 5% for Littell. Quintana, give him. It's interesting. He does walk righties. If they come out super righty heavy, the lean is what they go 8%. Did we say 3%? Go 5. And for outs, all right, my guess here is going to be probably something about 15.5 for both. Oh, I was wrong. 17.5 for Littell. Quintana 16.5. All right, contact pitchers. Hey man, what do I know? I don't know nothing. I know nothing. And I think we probably dabble with the weather boost here. 84 degrees, a little breeze out, 6% humidity. I think we give them a boost here. I don't know if I give them a full point. I think I do. They got a couple 8. Especially with the humidity. You know, that less dense air and all. I'm gonna give the weather boost a 1. Something tells me maybe I should go like 0.6. Here, what up, Earth to Air? So, the 0.75 makes me feel better. Yeah. All right, Cubs and the Mets. Next game on the docket. Jameson Taillon taking on Clay Holmes. 2 former Yankee greats. We got 3.5 run total for the Cubs. I mean, that's respect. 4.2 for the Mets. 59 degrees. Roth mentioned rain around at first pitch could cause a late start, but I think the game plays without much drama. I don't expect any in-game issues. All right, well, hey, Clay Holmes, really good, heavy ground ball guy, heavy sinker guy, not inducing a lot of swing and miss or a lot of swing and strikes. 25% K rate. The thing with Clay Holmes is you look at his pitch count and you look at his K rate and you're like, guy that should be goating, but he doesn't really go that deep. Maybe it is because the pitch count is somewhat limited. I mean, he hit 90 pitches in 3 of his last 4 games. I guess he's got to 6 innings, 2 of those games in St. Louis. Those are the only games all year that we've seen that. And I do wonder if there's like because I was wondering, you know, you convert a starter out of the pool, you know, really push him early in this. That's in the back of my mind. He also had isn't a lot of Cubs are half and half when it comes to strikeout rates and aggregate 21.5% K rates since the beginning of last year against righties. And a lot of these guys, you can keep them in the park and keep them on the ground. Might be able to put together a good game here, $8,200, and I think that's possible. But the Cubs are such a Swiss Army knife because you can also get on base and steal base. So I think he's in the pool at 8,200. Let that simmer for a second. Jameson Taillon against the Mets. This version of the Mets projected lineup almost a 22% K rate. So there is some interest in that, but Taillon's not really a strikeout guy. Sub 20% K rate. Aggregate sub 20 last 3 years. elevated expected ERA, and his ground ball rate, particularly against righties, has diminished progressively year over year. He went from 42%, 36%, and now 23% against righties. Trading that for fly ball rate, gonna have an over 9% barrel rate, 32% hard contact rate. Your home runs are gonna start catching up with you, and that's Pete Alonso territory, because Pete Alonso, you're not striking him out, you're daring to put the ball in play. You're gonna tap into his 838 OPS since the beginning of last year's 231 ISO. We know how he's been this season, so it's a good spot for Pete Alonso to make a little something happen. So I don't think I want to get to Tyon because I just don't know what the upside is, if there's upside, on a 12-game slate against the New York Metropolitans. So I think I am a little interested in Clay Holmes. I'm gonna say Mets Substack. Looking at Alonso. And then the Cubs might get pushed into, we're literally talking highest scoring offense, has a 3.5 run total. So I get it. Clay Holmes is good. But from a game theory perspective, do we get the number one offense in baseball at like the lowest ownership on a 12-game slate? Is that possible? Reds have a lower run total. They probably won't. Yeah, so maybe not the lowest, but you get what I'm saying. Like projection systems, everything's not going to look good at all against Clay Holmes. And for the most, they hit the third most homers, cool, but they also steal the most bases. And that counts for fans. They have the sixth highest batting average. I feel like the Cubs might be a fun GPP stack, but yes, it's going to come with a lot of risk, and maybe you're hoping Clay Holmes gets a blister. You said it, not me. I didn't say it. I'm going to put Cubs deep GPP or ownership because they project so bad and they're so good. Get our pitch projections for Iowa. Out. That in a second. 25% for Clay Holmes. Block rate. Holmes. All right, I'm gonna guess 17.5 for Clay. I'll guess 16.5 for Clay. I'm gonna guess 16.5 on both. So good at this. Well, 16.5. So. Fuck it. Brenda. Brenda didn't believe in me. Nationals lineup. Confirm it. We got Abrams. James Woods batting second. Let's go. Nate Lowe's batting third. Herbert Lee Jr. Yeah. Ed Rosario. Oh. Young. Dylan. Red light. Green light. Keeping it moving. I got it. Phillies. Aaron Nola taking on Gavin Williams. 26% K rate for Nola this season. 12.3% swing and strike rate. He has been getting beat up by lefties all season long. It's been kind of the trend for the last 3 years. But tends to keep righties in check for the most part. But this season has allowed an elevated average, but does have a 197 xFIP and a 29% K rate. Now, we don't have to... I'm interested in these numbers, guys, but I'm also thinking we don't have to split the atom on a 12-game slate because this Guardians lineup likely comes out super lefty heavy. Only Gabriel Arias is a righty and is projected. So we'll save this research for a different stream, and we'll hyper focus on his lefty splits, which have been pretty consistent for 3 seasons now. Some power keeps the average down, but the strikeout rate actually lowers as well. He does get the benefit of progressive field, which has been a hard to homer at park over the course of the last 3 seasons. Phillies, by the way, a 4.3 run total. Guardians 3.9. And then this Guardians lineup, Steven Kwan, J-Ram, Carlos Santana, hard to strike out. Everybody else strikes out at a really high clip. And this Steven Kwan and J-Ram might be bringing this aggregate too far down. But it's fair. They don't strike out. But man, 8,300 is quite the opportunity here versus the other side. That's literally Clay Holmes territory. I get it. It hasn't been a pretty ride for Aaron Nola this season. But the XFIP's kind of on his side. XFIP to lefties. 4.34. Not what you want. Yeah. What up, Tall? There's a couple very usable. Outside of Citizens Bank, average almost 2 more fantasy points a game as whip goes down. Batting average allowed goes down. Been a better road pitcher. Not pitching in the bandbox. Get him a plus part. So I'm kind of interested here in Nola. We do got to get around Juan and Jay. But the price on DK is kind of hard to pass up. Gavin Williams, 5.81 expected ERA. That's not what you want. 1.75 whip. He is walking both sides of the plate. He is allowing homers. You look at what he's doing to the lefties. 30% line drive rate is redonkulous, with a 41% hard contact rate and 11.1% barrel rate on the season. We definitely make note of that because Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber do exist. And then he's allowing righties to get on at a high clip since the beginning of last year. Aggregate 300 average to righties. And if you're going to let Trey Turner on for free, you know, he can make you pay. So we're going to go Philly stack, number 2 on our interest level here. Guardians bullpen hasn't been that bad. Not as elite as yesteryear, but enough here to target. Somebody tweeted at me about Gavin Williams versus Harper. I told him, lose my number, fam. But now I'm curious. What is it? 1 for 2? Get the freak out of here. Come on. These BVPers, man. These BVPers. All right. Nola strikeout projection. I'm going to give him the 24. I'm not going to give him the 26. We're going to tax him based on his splits. He is striking out lefties more than he had here. But 24. Gavin, 25% K rate. Pretty good on both sides. Walk rate here for Nola. Can really lean on that lefty walk. I'm gonna give him a 9.5. Gavin. All right, how do we guess the outs here for Gavin? I think I want to guess 18.5 for Nola. I think it's 16.5, 17. 17.5 for Nola. Juice on the over. 15.5. Field's agreeing with me a little bit on Nola. So we'll give Nola 3 towards a QS. Got out of jail. Let's go. I got bail money. AD, I don't know if you can handle. Jail's not that tough. Prison though. You'd be grabbing somebody's belt, calling them Tiffany in like a week. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. You know, not everybody can be that guy, pal. Man, I wish more stuff was screaming at me off the rip for pop plays. Kyle Schwarber's always at the top. No difference so far, yeah. All right, yeah. Reese Hoskins, number 2. Yep, and the weather bump there, and it's Zach Littell. Reese on this slate. Lit. Homer. Bunch of doubles. Didn't forget. And you know, we might. You got on the board for me for Reese's P. 5. All right, chat. There's 2 lines that I think are ridiculous right now. One's Reese. One's Matt Olson. Effing do. Give me something. But I'd also want. I'll wait. But I swear if they tax me on these points later, I'm gonna be really mad. The 5's ridiculous. All right, next game. Red Sox and the Royals. Hunter Dobbins taking on Mike Lorenzen. Red Sox have a 4.7 run total. You guys been seeing this Rafi Devers bull crap, dude? What a guy. You know, if my star player was saying the things he said, I just feel like a fool for supporting that organization. I'd be crawling, begging Yankee fans to embrace me, add me to their group chats. I played third base. Hunter Dobbins, 16.2 innings this season, 17.6% K rate, 11% swinging strike rate. Not a ton of sample to love. But he has gotten through 5 innings each of his starts. White Sox. So the White Sox suck, right? Clearly, that's his best game. But it's the White Sox. St. Louis game. Stop looking at it. Kind of find a lean here because 11 innings is enough. What do we say? 16 innings. Boston will trade Devers to the Dodgers and pay his contract. Dodgers. You would have a firm grasp of my pocket 2 days into prison with me. Yeah, okay, brother. Take a seat. Devers can play third. What's crazy is the Dodgers probably could afford and not have a luxury. They probably won't. I'm low-key hating. 7.5% swing strike rate, 12.7, 14%. Batted ball data, 7.33. So against not the White Sox, we're looking at a 5.73 xFIP or 3.75 against. So I really don't know what to expect here. So now that we've looked at that, let's go look at 2 things. Well, let's go look at his Baseball Savant. So what's his Stuff Plus? Stuff Plus is just not good. Other than even the White Sox was 3% below. So the Stuff Plus is bad. The Location Plus, meh. He got really. I mean, the White Sox just doesn't count. That should just be spring training. So, oh. Who else was in it? That was a Verdugo trade, right? Go bets. David Price went to the Dodgers. So I guess it wasn't free. You had to take David Price's contract, but then y'all started using him out of the bullpen. Expected batting average on his top used pitch is a 281. Better than his actual batting average. 319. Slider. Allowing him. Right. Well, not a strikeout matchup anyway. He'll give us some more data on whether or not we pick on him. So far, he's been really susceptible to power to lefties. I don't have a ton of that on the Royals team. Vinny Pasquantino, sure, hasn't been as powerful, but yeah. And then Michael Lorenzen, you know what we're getting out of him, sub 20% K rate. Contact guy. Not gonna walk a lot. Does walk, but not a lot. Will allow some power. The Red Sox top half look pretty nice. So, no pitchers for me here. Go Red Sox, Royals. They can substack Royals. And this Royals bullpen has been great too. Probably wouldn't go all in. Well, I definitely would. Top 5 look interesting, but remember, this is a good park for pitching and a good bullpen for the Royals. Take the box on paper. I miss David Price pitching against the Yankees. Those are good times. Let's get a pitcher projection here. Hunter Dobbins. I'm gonna go 18. K rate. Walk rate. Then 7. All right, I'm gonna get some outs here. Dobbins, I'm gonna go 16.5. Lorenzen, I'm gonna go 16.5 as well. I feel like Lorenzen might be higher. I feel like Dobbins might be lower, but I'm gonna go 16.5. 16.5 for Lorenzen, 15. All right. Yeah, win them all. Oh, this is like my nerd plays Price is Right with himself. You ever seen the meme of the guy like whispering into this girl's ear at the bar? It's me. Yeah, so I guess out projections by sports books with like an 80% accuracy. A lot of people can't do that, but I do it. Go Marlins and the White Sox. Oh God. You get a Pirates lineup, but a Rays lineup. So we haven't started. Yeah. So let's go get those lineups. Especially because I was curious with the Rays. Then we know O'Neal Cruz. That matchup. Ryan Reynolds, Andrew McCutch, and Joe Bott. Ryan Hayes. Gave me a fake number, bro. I don't know. I thought. Did you tell her you can guess Vegas out projections? I did. I don't know. She just. I thought that worked. She's not the one. Reyes, Diaz, Morel, Junior Caminero, Brandon Lau. Oh, a little higher. Nope, they didn't do anything funky with the lefties. Andy Jansen, Curtis Mead, Walls. You can still make Walls bat lefty. You can still do this. Chandler Simpson. Kind of green lighted. Moving on. Marlins and the White Sox. So Max Meyer, 28% K rate on the season, 9.4% barrel rate. Has had a lot of good, some bad. Has not faced the White Sox, but you look at his last 3 games, and there's a wide range of outcome. Negative fantasy points against the Athletics after 5 innings. But then you look at Cincy at 14 freaking strikeouts. So I would pitch probably one of you guys in chat against Chicago. So before I get too invested on them, I'll look at this bad game against Oakland, the Athletics, and if there was a little bit of bad luck. Look at all Mets lineup is out now. We're getting like 684 xFIP. That's on him. 4-1 xFIP against Seattle, and then a negative 1.3 x. Eddie, we know the story with him is his freaking slider. We'll look at the pitch type here. Against Cincinnati, threw the slider 56% of the time, 48-36. Counting thinker, you got to use. Yo, those that slider still reading out as it is. Expected batting average would have. Now we'll go look at the pitch report. Mr. Meyer. Only Edgar Cuero, in very small sample, has a plus grade against the slider. Only Chase Mydroff has a plus grade against the fastball. And only Cuero has a plus grade. So, basically what I'm saying is Max Meyer should have 8 strikeouts tonight. And they didn't give us a 2 sucky game discount in prices there. So, the deal. Go 4.5. One total for the Marlins offense. And for the White Sox, we'll go 3.7. And we'll go get that Mets lineup updated. Absolutely put Max Meyer at the top of our interest list. Not a whole lot to to break down after that. Bryce Wilson is a beatable pitcher. Really sucks both sides of the plate. 10% K rate to lefties, 16% to righties. High home runs per 9 allowed to both sides of the plate. Walks lefties at a very high clip. With a 9% barrel rate. Both bullpens suck. Chilly weather, no real winds to boost anything. But I think you could get away with a Marlins Substack. Park has been less taxing on righty power. Augustine Ramirez could project pretty well. I'm gonna go Marlins stack. Case might have never seen a breaking ball he could hit. Yeah, he sits fast. This is god dang, dude. They don't throw fastballs. All right, now let's go. I cannot. The spreadsheet always gives me the most ridiculous K prop numbers for pitchers against the White Sox, so I'm dying. I'm gonna guess 17.5 for Meyer, 15.5 for Bryce. That's 17.5. We don't have a Bryce line. Bryce line negotiator. I'm gonna give him 15.5. I'm gonna give Max Meyer towards a QS, and that gives us just a 6.4. I'm shocked actually. I was expecting an insane number. Fine. Well, still a freaking full strikeout above the market apparently. I think I'm gonna list that. Let's just type 5.5. that. All right, we can go get a couple lineups that we passed. I know the Mets came out. Tigers. That's on the early slate. So. Old Keith. And Dingla. So we were wondering about doubleheader and Coors travel lineup. Doesn't look like they gave curveballs here. Check that off. And then the Mets lineup. Lindor, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, Imo bad and clean up. Go out. This looks like Starling Marte off. 80. Luis Angel. You guys see the? We'll talk about it. All right, so no Starling Marte is the main difference from the projected. Still like Pete Alonso a lot against these tie-on splits, but I don't like it. I don't know. Usually I can get his prop at 6.5. I might like it for 6.5. Six. Kind of in on. I'll think about it. Go maybe. Alonso. But we gotta come up with something real sophisticated and proper. Me likey a lottie. There we go. That works. All right. Now wait a minute. Moving it on to the Giants and Twins. We have a Twins confirmed lineup. Byron Buxton, man, he's on one right now. We're getting healthy Byron Buxton right now, and it's a fun thing to have. He's been pretty low on fantasy points lately, but I don't. Oh, that's Jordan Hicks. Hicks-Hole Correa. And Lawrence. Right. Giants 4.6 run total. Twins 4.6. So tied up. Don, how you feel about playing Nola and Castillo for large field? I don't mind it. I already have Nola in the pool. Can't imagine a scenario where I don't produce Castillo against the Blue Jays. That's not my favorite matchup for strikeouts, and Castillo's strikeouts have been down. So I actually would probably not like that. I thought I would. I don't mind Nola though. Jordan Hicks, a 20.6% K rate this season, almost a 1.5 whip. He is walking lefties at a high clip. Not allowing much power, keeping balls on the ground. Now, this Twins game, 80 degrees out there in Minnesota. What the F am I listening to? Next. Thank you. But he's just kind of like stifles his upside because he's not converting strikeouts. Even though he's got a 98 mile per hour sinker and he probably should have more strikeouts, but yeah, Colorado, it happens. Other than that, I mean, he's peaking at 6. That was on opening day. But he's a stack killer, right? Even if you look at these, doesn't allow a ton of runs and he doesn't allow a ton of home runs. Will allow some hits. You got to paper cut him though. And he does walk hitters, so I don't want to play him. Not a heavy walk team. I'm kind of indifferent on that. Chris Paddock on the other side, I know I don't want to play that. Sub 17% K rate for him. Sub 9% swing and strike rate. A lot of power to both sides of the plate. A lot of average to the right side of the plate. A 218 average allowed to lefties, but a 638 xFIP makes me think that he has been getting pretty lucky against lefties. Unless they're all just hitting homers and not counting it. Have it. So, let's... Enough. Got a 191 BABIP versus lefties. Yeah, that's probably not. That happened. High fly ball and a high infield. 15% infield fly ball to lefties. What was it last year? 9%. So like not crazy, but not. Oh, for that reason, I'm out. Gonna go Giants in the pool here. Now the Twins have been good enough that like I want to be interested in them, but man, Hicks is just doesn't have the what we need to blow up a stack on a Friday night. You know what I mean? So if you want to cherry pick here, like I said, Byron Buxton has been perfectly usable on average in the last week. A lot of homers and then leading off. He can still go base like he did yesterday. But you know, if you want to cherry pick him or if he falls into a lineup as a loose stray, go for it. But stay away from both sides of that. You can give me some Giants just because I want to pick on Chris Paddock. But the Twins bullpen and the Giants bullpen really have been just fine. So if this game just happens to be a 4-3, nobody dies, then whatever. If we get Yastrzemski in the leadoff spot, I'd be interested in him. He draw walks, over 10% walk rate, matches up well with Chris Paddock's walk rate. He can hit homers at 225 ISO, matches up with Paddock's homer per nine since the beginning of last year to lefties and his heavy fly ball stuff. So, and what's his square rate? Can he get by that 14% infield fly? Yastrzemski. Square it up 55. I'm a little bit interested. Just point prop at, if anything. Probably get 5.5, 6.5. 6.5. Somebody told me they've been posting like a lot more hitter fantasy. Oh my. I think that's going to be the most exploitable market. Seeing some guys, not all guys, but especially the night before, you're getting some really low lines. And to put this in like perspective, I think the magic number you want to target is like 7 or less. Because a double's 5. And if you hit a double, there's a good chance you're knocking one in. So if you get an RBI and a double, that's 5. Or if you hit a double, there's a good chance or better chance that you get knocked in. So if you see something less than 7 for like good hitters, feel like, yo, what's up? I wish they had a better way to sort it. But I do think since you can't really take fantasy point lines from the industry, meaning like they can keep their K-prop sharp, their hits plus run, their home run, they can keep all that sharp because they can look at all the different sports books offering odds on those lines. There's not really that for fantasy points. Now I'm sure there's some fancy algorithm that does its best, but like I said, just us looking at what we're looking at so far, I liked. So we wrote down Matt Olson, right? Matt Olson, 270 average versus lefties, 231 ISO, 842 OPS, and then falter against lefties, 400 plus average last year, 270 plus average. He's allowing power to lefties, and then he's in front of high OBP in the middle of a sweet WRC plus sandwich. Like that's, I'm looking for 7. So they give him us at 5.5. 5.5. Yeah. I'm like, on that. And then if he homers, golden. The same for Rhys Hoskins. Hoskins, he doesn't hit for great average, but he does hit for good power, and he's on a high implied run total team behind the heart of the order projected, and Littell, low K rate, high home run per 9. Obviously, he doesn't feel as warm and fuzzy as Olsen, but like he is for 5 fantasy points. And then and something that we can track. If we look at bomb detector for Hoskins, comes in at number 2. The books have him at 340, which is, what is that, 20% probability? The 22.73% implied probability to homer. You could get a guy with almost a 1 in 4 chance to homer according to the books. To beat his fantasy point prop of 5. Like we already established a double ties that. You know what I mean? It's a push line. So I guess what I'm saying is I think the fantasy point lines are the most beatable because there's multiple outs, right? That you can get walked, you can draw 2 walks and not hit your total bases and so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying. So if you're playing on PrizePicks, make sure you're being cognitive of this new wave of fantasy points that they're dropping. They've been dropping a lot more fantasy points. Go out there. Hater's been low-key raking. Oh. It's time. What game are we on? Wins, right? Yeah. I do a pitcher projection for that game. 20%. Jordan Hicks, Chris Paddock. Yeah, Olsen's ground ball rate. Hey man, I'm not even gonna say. I think you might. I can't joke about that. Sorry. It involved Matt Olson. Got me a homer. That's all I can say. I bet they wish he hit the ground at third that time. That's. Let's go walk rate for Jordan Hicks. 9. Paddock. 11. 9-11. That's a great follow-up to. Is Olsen going crazy ground ball against lefties too? Look for outs for. Do that. I'm gonna guess the same. Paddock. As we move on in this uncomfortable moment. Next game on the docket, Houston Astros hosting the Cincinnati Reds. 3.2 run total for the Reds. Astros 4.5. We got Hunter Brown spinning the seams, toeing the slab. Minute Maid. Minute Maid. Oof. Icon Park? I'm not calling it that. I'm out here looking for Minute Maid. Like, all right, I don't see anything about the roof. It's been a nice day in my area of Texas, and this is the last week we're gonna get before we hit the hundreds, high 90 degrees. Anyway, keep an eye on that. Hey, Hunter Brown, good at baseball. 31% K rate for him this season. The Cincinnati Reds, a lot of strikeout potential in that lineup. 24.5% aggregate K rate since last year against right-handed pitching. They have just a 3-point run total, so this is obviously smash spot to get into some Hunter Brown. But you gotta go up there and get him at $11,000 on not only DraftKings, Fanduel as well. And then Nick Martinez, 20% K rate for him, $1.25 on the whip. Has been perfectly like average for real life, but for DFS, especially on these big Friday night slates, don't know that we're going to extrapolate a ton of ton of upside. And with the Astros, while Yordan Alvarez is down, we pretty much expect an extremely righty heavy lineup, so we can kind of look at his righty splits and kind of just stay there. Since the beginning of last year, we're saying aggregate 18.5% K rate to righties, keeping the ball in the park, not walking a lot, and just really not giving up a ton of anything. So it kind of a stack killer, and the 4.5 run total for the Astros kind of like leads us there. So Hunter Brown's just kind of like shining solo option here. Yeah, that's all I got. Ellie De La Cruz. I don't know if you guys have seen this picture of Ellie De La Cruz. They put it on the broadcast yesterday of him and his twin. And the idea of this picture was to show that him and his twin brother, he's so much taller than his twin brother. But like no one paid attention to his twin brother flipping off the camera. So this made national TV yesterday. It's kind of fun. But yeah, I didn't know you could be that much different in stature from your twin, unless it was like fat. Anyway. That's his brother flipping us off. Bye, guys. Give me Hunter Brown. Let's go put up some pitcher projections here. 20% K rate for Nick Martinez and a 31% for Brown. Walk rate for Nick Martinez. We're looking on those. It's 8%. And Hunter Brown, we can go 6. Nick Martinez. All right, we're gonna play this game. I'm gonna go 17.5 for Hunter Brown, maybe 18.5. Nick Martinez, I'm gonna think 16.5. What do we got? Show me potato salad. Got 17.5 and 17.5. Okay, bad Nick. I was not familiar with your game. Give him 1, whatever, towards a QS, but I'm gonna go 3 on Hunter Brown. Go 1 point. And we'll keep it moving. Next game up, Colorado Rockies. Coors Field. Padres. Schwarzenegger and DeVito. That's true. I didn't even think about it. Those twins don't even look alike. Everyone who read that and didn't understand is under 30. Everyone who read that and laughed is old. Everyone who read that and laughed has back problems. Everyone who read that and didn't, well, they probably vape and play Fort. I'm hating. Hey, Randy Vasquez is throwing baseballs in Coors Field. Normally, this would open my eyes. A very wide stature. I had to see something. So on my lineups page, I still use Fantasy Labs for the their layout gets right, in my opinion. I don't know why, but on the Rockies, they've got Brenton Doyle 11.2K, Jordan Beck 9.6K, Ryan McMahon 8.6, Hunter Goodman 10K. But that's clearly not accurate. If it was, I probably wouldn't. I probably would fade it. I'll be honest. I would fade it. Padres look really, really good. 6.6 implied run total. Senzatella has been god awful. One of the worst pitchers in baseball. 10% K rate for him. 7% swing and strike rate. A 12% barrel rate. You're gonna want Padres in your life. Now, we'd say bad pitching versus bad hitting. I usually lean bad hitting over bad pitching at the major league level. But oh my god, this Rockies team is like almost not the major league level. So this Randy Vasquez versus Rockies, unstoppable force, immovable object of suck, could go any which way. And I'm assuming the Rockies are gonna grab some ownership because it is Randy Vasquez. And I can't say no, especially since they aren't Coors priced. So I think you have to look at the Rockies. But ill. That whole side is ill. I got a twin sequel with Tracy Morgan. What? Is it with DeVito and Schwarzenegger too? Dude, I'm watching that. That just sounds like a crazy combo. What the freak? 9% on Vasquez's carry. Walk rate. Not walk. Hey, at least he doesn't walk people. No skip. Yeah, that's why we keep him out there. He just throws strikes. He's not walking people. All right, I'm assuming. Dude, neither one of these pitchers might. It might be 14 and a half instead of 15s for these two. That's 15s. Both with juice on the under, so I'm gonna go straight up 15. They're in it, dude. I'm gonna watch that. I wonder if that goes to theaters too. I feel like movies to theaters are just not happening anymore. Other than adding 1 mile an hour, not sure what changed with Hunter Brown's fastball, but it's been unhittable this year. And it's... Oh yeah, velo. Take a look. You didn't see it. I doubt I was. All right. Right. I feel like they should support that by. God dang, dude. Somebody come look at this. Look at this is ridiculous. Yeah, it's a problem when you have an unhittable fastball at the major level, because that's the pitch you throw the most. Same movement as last year. A little bit more. Angle's pretty similar. The Astros, man, probably got some hair gel on his hands. The strength of schedule. You just like see the Rockies and White Sox 5 times. Sox. Been pretty good. Like the schedule's like medium. AC doesn't strike out a lot, and he got 9 of them. Either does Toronto, so he's out there getting them. Which one? All right, let's move on from this game on to the next game. Baltimore Orioles taking on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Stop this. Stop this. Just stop. 5.3 run total for the Baltimore Orioles. One of the top run totals on the entire slate, especially when you consider not in Coors Field. That's right, the Baltimore Orioles pre-flop look like a good stack against Al Hendricks, who has a 13% K rate, 4.82 expected ERA. Behind Kyle Hendricks is like the worst bullpen in baseball. This is a really good spot for the Baltimore Orioles. Trust me, this is an incredibly good spot for the Baltimore Orioles. I'm sure that there's no way that they could potentially blow such a good matchup because they're such a good, young, powerful team. And I hate this team so much, man. Every freaking night, I got some Orioles money, and they just suck. Like, what are we doing? Oh, and here we go with this again. Yeah, Kyle freaking Hendricks couldn't strike you out. 281 home run per nine this season to righties, over one since the beginning of last year. I guess all my favorite Orioles are lefties, so that helps. But I don't think he's gonna stay in a 0 home run per nine. But then, look, man, we've been chasing Orioles for weeks. How dumb do we feel if they go off on Kyle Hendricks in the Orioles bullpen? I'm just saying. Freaking hate this thing. Freaking hate him. I hate him. I'm telling you what's gonna happen. They're gonna keep getting blanked by these scrubs, and then catch like Yamamoto or Hunter Brown and go off for no reason. Pre-flop, we gotta like the Orioles, man. We take our gut and our personal history away. Orioles, high run total, good matchup. Angels against Sagano. Sagano at 13.3% K rate this season, a 5.45 expected ERA, and 11% barrel rate. Both sides of the plate, hitting with some decent pop. Now he is keeping a ball on the ground against lefties, but he's also allowing a 2 home run per nine. Most of the Angels that we want to play typically not going to be left-handed hitters. I think we like mix and match. I'll say Angel Substack. Moncada? I feel like he's homered a little bit lately. Power surge for Yohan Moncada. 2 homers in his last 3 games. 2 homers on the season. All right, all of his homers happened lately. I guess he has kind of been hurt a lot. So resting. We got a 4.5 implied run total for. I'll give you Angel Substack, Orioles stack. See how that shakes out. I'm so sick about the Orioles, bro. It's so bad. The only guy that has been consistent for me on prop bets is like Ryan O'Hearn. Every day, Gunnar Henderson at the top of the lineup or Cedric Mullins at the top of the lineup. He looks so good to me. And it's days that I don't get him that they go crazy, but like Gunnar Henderson has a 7 fantasy score. These 3, I've had them every single day. I hate gambling, bro. Gambling. Why do we do this? It's bad. Not what you want. I'm at the slot machine, bro. If I get up now, Maggie, hey, it's 84 degrees up there too. Do I even make it? I'm gonna give them a 0.3 on the, because they need more. Next week it's gonna start getting crazy. Dodgers at the D-backs. Dodgers throwing Roki Sasaki. Dodgers have a 5 run total. Eduardo Rodriguez pitching for the D-backs. Got a 26.5% K rate this season, 1.5 whip. Sasaki has been sub 18% K rate, 1.5 whip himself. Really struggling with lefties, high walk rate to lefties, high homer per nine to lefties, and then we kind of talk about it every 5 days. But Sasaki is going to be one of the best pitchers on the planet, I believe. But he just kind of skipped middle school and went straight to being a senior. So I don't think you're going to see a lot of games where he goes super deep. But we have seen 90-plus pitches out of him in back-to-back starts. And this rotation is becoming injury-riddled. So if they can stretch him a little bit longer, I'm sure they would love it. But only 1 game have we seen him go 6 innings. So it's going to be a tough spot to get behind him here to start looking like one of the best pitchers on the planet, because the Diamondbacks are one of the better offenses in baseball, one of the hardest to strike out teams in baseball. So this looks like an offensive game to me. Now, I'm going to imagine the roof's going to be closed for the rest of the year at this point. And I'm going to imagine that I'm wrong. Guys, this could be crazy. According to their website, they list the roof open. And it's like flirting with 100 degrees out there. I don't know how hot it gets in Japan. I don't know if it gets Phoenix hot. Kind of the same for Erod. Now, I don't know, man. We'll see if that changes. I guess we would have to at least mention this in our notes. That would be a big weather boost. Our roof listed open. It's very effing hot. That is. We'll leave that there. If they leave it open, I'll put a 1 for now. I don't know, man. I just gotta. I feel like they can't leave it good, but it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot, and that's gonna be advantage hitters both sides. And what's this Dodgers bullpen looking like right now? I know thinking. Pretty fresh. Jack Dreyer, 35. Okay. 42 pitch save for Matt Sauer. So they do have the good arms ready to go if they keep it close. Good arms. Tanner Scott. I guess Kirby 8 solid. Quotation. And then for Arizona, same free rolled away. Arizona. So Jalen Beeks, the lefty, probably not backing him up. But if they keep a left, and 42 pitches 2 days ago, so we might not get a lefty out of the bullpen for the deep, which means GG. Otani, Freddie Freeman. We're looking at Shelby Miller, Lane Thompson. Yeah. Go Dodgers, D-backs, offense only. Get a pitcher project. Bingo. Can do the Nano. Hockey. Rod 6. That 26% is so fake. I mean, that's got to be the fakest kid. I was like, he probably should be like a 21. How is this happening? He's got a lower called strike than last year, barely a 1% more swing and strike rate. This first strike. Stuff plus has been okay, brother. 93 with a 56% first. So you're coin flipping him starting an account 01. 7% below average in Stuff Plus with a season sub 10% swinging strike rate and a 3-year low called strike rate. It's so fake. I guess it's being juiced by his lefties. Man, I don't know, man. That 26% K rate to righties probably should be like, and that's at best. I think I'm gonna give 4%, bro. It's so fake. All right, 7%. Roki. No Teo for Dodgers, make them bad this year. See that. They're also self-loathing Dodgers fans. I don't know. I don't know, man. All right, so the main thing to keep an eye on here is to see if they change their roof status. If they leave this roof open, guys, I know they got the humidor. 100 degrees is 100 degrees. 95 degrees is the listed temp right now. It's gonna be a dry heat. Heat nonetheless. So I'm gonna give them the full one, and that's gonna boost a lot of projections. And since we haven't really looked at a PrizePicks line lately, but Roki Sasaki's 20% walk rate and almost 2 homer per 9 to lefties, you're gonna definitely be looking at Corbin Carroll. Now, I would imagine he has a fantasy prop at like 9 at this point in the season. Doesn't he? Oh, 7.5? Jeez, bro. Do it, bro. Do it. Probably. I'm gonna put Corbin Carroll on the list. You know what happens when you lead the league in run value since the beginning of last year, and you're in the leadoff spot against a 20% walk rate guy who gives up bombs in 100-degree temperature? You know what happens? Just made the list. He just made the list. Show you guys something. I know we've spotlighted this earlier in the season, but for this base running tab, now that we can just look at this season, Corbin Carroll, tied with Byron Buxton, PCA, Otani, in base running runs. Extra runs via extra bases taken leads the league. Stolen bases, advance attempts. He's probably not as high because in homering doubles. That's 7. The leader's at 15. That's Luis Robert. We got to get him out of there. And then their bases taken. Corbin Carroll leads taking an extra. They can turn singles into doubles. Really. And then when we start that from the beginning of last year, I mean, this is not a one-season anomaly. He's that guy, pal. 15 base running runs value since the beginning of last year. But when you get this guy on PrizePicks consistently for less than 8 fantasy points, if you can get him to less than 7, and now you get Ketel Marte back in the mix here, going against a guy that one could walk you and he can still base, and then you get knocked in, or you could just straight up homer off him. Corbin Carroll's my guy, man. He's just been my favorite fantasy play throughout the season. So they're on the list. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can get 6. That'd be great. But 5 is nice to throw out a little something. We did the projections here. Oh, all right, 2 games left to talk about. Appreciate all you guys hanging with me on this Friday afternoon. 40 to 50 of y'all have been chilling. A lot of quiet, deadly assassins. If you are lurking for the first time, we are actively updating projections throughout the MLBgrind.com premium spreadsheet. If you guys want to get access to it, even if I don't stream, we're still updating the spreadsheet and help you expedite your research. It'll show you bomb projections, pitcher projections, hitter projections, all that good stuff. And a lot of people love it for many different reasons. But my boy Rob, that's the pitch report demon right there. He's making sure everything checks out. If you guys want to compare a pitcher's repertoire of pitches versus the hitter's results against those type of pitches since the beginning of last year, we got that. If you guys want to know quickly, a hitter's positive splits or negative splits in their matchup today, you can see that pretty easily. And I use a lot of the advanced analytics that I love to lean on. 10 years of doing this, and you guys don't have to know every stat like all the baseball nerds. We list it and color code it. Green is good, red is bad. So you can just kind of go from there and start evolving with the information as we get it. I have mentioned that we are working on another tab to consolidate some of these slate things, and then I have a list of just continuously evolving what we're showing, the stats that we're showing, and the stats that we're using. There's some more pitching stats that I want to introduce to the front page. I just gotta find the right spot. But I do think Stuff Plus is kind of like taking the world by storms. We're probably gonna introduce that to the front page. And if you guys have recommendations, requests, all that stuff, throw them in the Discord. But for the most part, everyone that subs and watches, you guys are super quiet, man. Y'all are just there, get the data, and go on about your business. So that's cool too. I don't mind it. But if you do want to get a sub, go to MLBgrind.com, premium membership, just week pass, 2 week passes, week pass, month pass, and season pass. Here, what up, Josh? Move on to the next game. We only got 2 games left, and then we'll back and update. Then we'll also release the main slate. Blue Jays and the Mariners. We got Kevin Gausman taking on Louis Castillo. Gausman, 24% K rate for him on the season, 11.5% swing and strike rate, 13.6% barrel rate. Striking out righties at a pretty high clip. He's struggling a little bit more with lefties, the 4.56 xFIP. Pretty similar to what he was doing last year. Now, he's not getting absolutely rocked or shelled by lefties, but he's struggling a little bit more. He is striking out righties more this season than he was last season, so that's a good sign for him, and walking him less. But the ground ball rate is declining. The fly ball rate has gone up, and the hard contact rate is still pretty elevated. And you pair that with the barrel rate, it's pretty alarming against the Mariners team. Does barrel him up. This is a better than perceived offense. But Gausman's fly ball rate is so high and his home run rate is so low in relative to his fly ball rate. Or not so much his home run to fly ball rate that I'm thinking, but his fly ball rate is so high for him to have a sub 1 home. So I'm wondering if he has a high in fly ball. Yo, let's. Man, not really, dude. He's just generating fly balls that aren't getting. Curious. So Travis, do you build some sample lines at the end? Haven't. I guess I could. But baseball is such a stack heavy sport, dude. Especially the bigger slates. I don't really know what I'm looking for. What I come here for? Checking out home. Is there any park that he would just be that? What about Seattle? So he's allowed 4 homers. Would allow 1 more in Seattle. Would allow up to 6 in several parks. All right. But this is a stoppable force, immovable object type. The Mariners, really good offense, but they can strike out. Mariners are 5th in homers this, 7th in runs, 5th in stolen bases, 2nd in overall WRC plus. Split this up against righties. They're number 1. Are 9th in home, 13th in runs, so they do drop it in that. So basically where we're getting at here is, I think it makes sense to play Kevin Gausman, but his weaknesses are alarming, like that 13.6% barrel rate. with a couple of these Mariners bats that they don't strike out. They can hit with some power, and they also walk at a clip. So we're gonna get both sides of that. But how do we rank it? I think we're gonna rank Gossman. He's 9K on DK. It's not like we're getting a fantastic deal here. Grand scheme of the slate. Jesus, last 3 games is just the window into a range of outcomes. 12.1, -6.8, and 30 fantasy points. When he's not getting shelled by arguably the best team on the planet, I don't make it up. Okay, I just analyze. He's going deep into games. He's gotten you 6+ innings pitched in 4 of his last 5. And in that game against the Yankees, lost the zone completely. And this is probably the highest aggregate K rate of any projected lineup, outside of maybe the Rockies and Red Sox. But honestly, it might be comparative. No, Rockies are higher. Sox. So look like the second highest aggregate K. I think we list that just chasing pure upside. Joe Gossman, but it's definitely some Decker spot where probably all 4 corners, but definitely both sides of Blue Jays run total. God damn. 0.8. They're not giving. And then Luis Castillo, kind of glossed on it earlier. 18.2% K rate this season, facing perhaps the lowest K rate offense in the slate. And then Dalton Varsho is like the reason that's happening. Like, this is a 21% or less K rate team. So I don't think this is an upside spot necessarily. It also feels like maybe the run total over respecting pitchers, but maybe 6 innings and 2 games straight for Castillo. Softer matchups, man. Texas has not been that team. Miami is Miami. He did pitch against Toronto at Rogers Center. Gave up 10 hits, 3 earnies. Not it against Cincy and Great American. Let's go look at the underlying metric here, but man, I feels like might be too much respect on their names, at least from a game total standpoint. Let's go. When you have a 0% swing. Oh. That's I'm not even mad. That's impressive. 0% swinging strike rate against the Texas. 18% against the Marlins. I mean, you again, range of outcomes here. He is all over the place. What was happening there? Pitch type. Pitch mix was similar. Nothing crazy different. Oh. 5.3 xFIP against Texas, 3.85 Miami, 4.28, 7.42. I mean, this guy is just not being consistent. He's consistently inconsistent. Just the stuff plus telling us about him this 94. It keeps the ball on the ground a lot, both sides of the plate, especially righties. I think it's really just his strikeout rate is alarming to me, and it just seems like you know how else to split it. Split. Look at home road splits. You know what I mean? Not 0, right? Okay, yeah, 0% swing strike rate. Easy. I wonder if it was and I'm not gonna, but what you think it was like bunts that fell off bunts or home. %22% K rate, 13%. Home cooking has been better for him. Average allowed better. BABIP really lucky. 9.5x. Better with their mound and but still a sub 8 for 9. So yeah, I don't think I'm playing him. It's just not an upside spot, and I can't put him in that S tier of pitching where they dominate over 30% K rate no matter what. This guy's just so. But I want to play him. I got him. All right, just give me Gossman and Mariners for now. Kevin Gossman. Ooh, Castillo. Heard they traded the other Castillo to like the Orioles. So we might get slates coming up. Both Luis Castillos are. He is not striking out lefties at all. Great. All right, let's guess some outs here. Oh, we haven't loaded up. Pagano. A half. Naki. Give him 15. Those guys are gonna be. And Gausman and Castillo. 8.5. Want to give Gausman 2.5. I'm gonna give them both 2.5 towards a QS, but dude, I don't have the warm and fuzzies on Castillo, bro. I don't know what's going on with him. I do get 6.5 Ks, the K prop, or in the K projection column. Wonder if we get 5.5 on the market. 6 is the push line. All right. One game left on the docket. You guys have it already. If you want to hit that thumbs up, that'd be great. We're at 30 thumbs up, man. I do appreciate that. So final game tonight. After this, we will release the pitcher and stack ratings for the premium members. We'll get the bomb detector sorted, and then any lineups that came out, get them punched in. Big Friday night. 5.2 run total for the Athletics. 6.1 for the Yankees. Will Warren is throwing baseballs for the Yankees, and we're starting to see some of this magic, that the fakeness of Will Warren and Carlos Carrasco. I love them both dearly. I love them both. But man, it has been a luck fest, and they are headed into Sacramento against Osvaldo Bido. 13% K rate, 1.5 WHIP, 4.82 expected ERA. Basically, I'm saying either way, about to slide into some offense. Yankees, the final team on the slate with a course run total, bro. I mean, I think the Padres might have been 6.6. Yeah, 6.6. The Yankees are number 2 now, so makes a lot of sense. Butter. Weather's out there in Sacramento. Friday, based on Google, and then the start close to 90. It's gonna be hot. 6% humidity. Yeah. Good spot. Good spot. Is it enough to throw a weather? Put half a point. The half. Neither pitcher for me. Both teams, obviously. The Athletics. The bullpen for everyone's fresh. Off day yesterday, travel day. So here's what I've decided. Devin Williams sucks. But Devin Williams is an experience. But man, Luke Weaver and Fernando Cruz, dude. Fernando Cruz is a problem. And I haven't ever looked at his Savant page. This guy's got it, dude. Look at this, bro. Are you looking at that? Look at that. 46.2% whiff rate. I don't know how the Yankees do this. But if you can start lining up games where you get those guys into lanes, it's going to be a problem. With that said, Will Warren should get shelled, and this should not be a Fernando Cruz and Luke Weaver game unless it is a one-run game later on in the evening. If the Yankees aren't, up 3-5 or whatever. If they are, they might sacrifice like Timmy Hill and the lesser arms. Yeah. Beto, 1.4 homer per 9 to righties, 2.12 to lefties. Extreme fly ball pitcher to lefties. Ben Rice. Trent Grisham. Stay hot. Great spots for them. Let's see what the Yankees like. And Rice fantasy points. 5.5. I'm about to go broke. I mean what? I get it. The Tampa, San Diego, whatever. Then Trent Grisham, I don't understand this. The only thing I would say about Trent Grisham right now is he could be anywhere from leading off to not in the lineup. So I won't go too crazy with jamming him. Whereas Ben Rice he's playing, he's going to be top 3. And then inversely, Will Warren, he's giving up the lefties. Soderstrom kind of cooled off. But this entire Athletics lineup, incredible ISO overall. WRC plus overall is pretty nuts. So they're going to project pretty well. Get a projection for the pitchers, and that'll zero out the slate for overall projections. I can go lose money on all my PrizePicks slips. Let's go. Beto. What's up, Ricky? Ricky! Love that Rice play. Dude, it's so good, bro. Got a really low 2, 3. These are 6 strong plays. Alonso, I'm like on the fence about just because of the ground ball rate and all that stuff. And if I can replace Alonso, that'll probably be my Robin for you like. Upgrade for Beto. Go 8. Oh, dude, I'm gonna guess 14.5 or 15.5 for both of these guys. 14.5. Yep. Hey, did you seen that? Everybody seen that? It's like I know. All right, that is our main slate. So we can go open up main slate. Hopefully, have what we need. 24. Let's go. Order from DKP. Seems like more people playing DraftKings Premium. 7Ks for Hunter Brown. 6.4. Cool. And then main stack rating. Get that going. Oh. What's up, KJ? Alright, you are late, dude. Freak. got something better to do on a Friday afternoon than gonna be literally talk to myself about baseball. The Padres come in with the top stack rating on the slate. Yankees 2, the D-backs 3, Dodgers 4, Milwaukee, Athletics, Baltimore, Boston. Okay, so a lot of high ratings here. Now we can go check out that bomb detector. Augustine Ramirez, number 2 now. Hoskins 3, Dudgy. Oh yeah, I almost just want to take all the or. Moncada's up there, good for him. No giant value here. Now this re-signs guy. A lot of times when guys are at the top of the bomb detector, it is based on like smaller sample, but it's usually like 10 at bats that break it. He's pushing 37 at bats in his split, coming out pretty crazy. So he must have some craziness. And he did hit that walk off. Was it a grand slam the other day? He hit a homer in the 9th inning. Out of curiosity, Hines. Not enough to qualify, but a lot of red if he did this year. Last year, same thing. So we might. I mean, he could just be running hot, but he also could just be the GOAT. These Hines. Then you can maybe start taking advantage of price odds books. But it's been like batting like in the minors. So he's a power hitter by his minor number. 554 slug in the minors this season. Bombs. 14 bombs last year in the minors, but just 376 slug. So I don't know, just a little asterisk. You see these names at the top and you're like, who? What? Huh? Yeah. Take Powers, man. Up here. All right, let's open up our DFS projections. And then chat, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, throw Mattis at me. I'm gonna look at, take a peek. Wise, man, this big old Friday night slates. I used to dread these slates. Friday night core slates for DFS, but for prop betting. We got in. All right, double check on some lineups, see if anything dropped. Also, before most of you guys leave, thinking we might not. Games aren't that early. Maybe we do it. It'll be 3 my time. That's kind of what happened the other day. Maybe we will try and stream tomorrow. Then Sunday becomes. We'll do that. We'll try. We'll try to do a stream tomorrow at the same time. I think if I could stick to 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, build my days around that, we're in business. It looks like there would be 4 games that I'd be racing the clock to analyze. I'd say. What's your pitcher pool looking like? What's up? That's good, right? Myers a trap, or we're gonna get that man tonight after coming off 2 rough starts. I'm on him, dude. I'm on him. White Sox are just a team I will pitch against. So my pitcher pool for the main slate tonight probably look like Brown, Meyer, Ola. Tournaments, we're definitely introducing Gossman. No warm and fuzzies on Clay Holmes because of the matchup, but get it. If I had to choose 4, it would probably be the top 4 projected, as bailout as that sounds. Pitching really does fall off a cliff. not even that enamored with Castillo. But yeah, Hunter Brown, Max Meyer, Nola, Goffman would. Land on. All right, we just get a little slew of lineups, so we'll get those punched in if anything changes. Atlanta Braves leading off, Ozzy Albies and Austin Riley, Ozuna, Matt Olson, Eli White. Nick Stanton. Yeah, so usually guys like that don't last long once the book is out. Right? Maybe we got to take advantage of them while we got them. Striking out at 30% clip. Unless they adjust. But, like, that's kind of the story. You adjust or you don't. Adjust like Aaron Judge did in 07 or whatever. 17. Or you don't, and you become, I don't know, Noel V. Marte. And I feel like the Reds have constantly brought up some random big swingers. And once the league figures out how to strike him out, they leave. What was that swole dude on the Brewers a couple years back? That don't tell him I mentioned it. Played in Korea. He might qualify for that. A Brewers lineup is out. Jake Bauers is really up there in the bottom of the he is bad in the middle of a Caleb Durbin, Joey. Yeah, Eric Thames. There you go. That dude looked like a cyborg, man. I did not want to be on his bad side. Phillies lineup. Trey Turner, Hart, Schwalba, Gasty, Kepler. On row. Yeah. All right. You know what? I'm curious. I haven't looked up these type of stats in a while. But sometimes I'm interested in catcher splits. Comes to I'll have to figure out how the freak to find. Is that gonna be under? You know, the pitcher or the catcher? I know it was on Baseball Reference. All right, so JT Realmuto is not catching for the Phillies today. And I'm just curious because Aaron Nola's had a weird season. So Marshawn is catching for the Phillies. He's pitched 3 games with Marshawn, 4 games with Realmuto. There's been significant difference in result. 7.47 ERA with Marshawn and a 2.5 ERA with Realmuto. The strikeout to walks, 2.8 with Marshawn, 4.4 with Real. So now, 3 games and 4 games, still not a lot. The Real Muto is a little less crazy and not Muto. Muto was his. Hey, he threw 16 games with dubs though. 3-7-1's not that bad. I don't know. I was just thinking out loud there. If there was maybe an underlying factor for catcher splits on Bola. The games he got shelled in, Citizens Bank. Not enough there to make a definitive statement. Thought. All right. Phillies lineup is out. Guardians lineup is out. Stephen Kwan, Schneeman, Aram, Mazzardo, Santana, Naylor, Rios, Jones. Sox lineup: Darren Duran, Devers, Breggy, Campbell, Rayu Story. Royals, India, Bobby Witt, Salvi, Massey, and Evan. Mark Ant is still in the league, bro. Like he's been how old is he? I want to say he feels like 36, but this is what I do. This is just who I am. And I'm older than him, so I'm old. So basically, I guessed out loud the correct age of this random baseball player in a team I don't really follow. Oh yeah? Yeah. Hey, you want to get out of here? No. Elliot Ramos batting 6 for the Giants. Lamont Wade Jr., Patrick Bailey, Christian Haas. Reds lineup is out. Dude, so many lineups are out. I love it. Stolen base detector. Dude, there's a few formulas I've made in my head for that. But I do think it's there's a lot of noise in something like that. Because one, the batter's got to get on base. And two, in order for a person that never steals to steal, it has to be a notorious slow pitcher or bad pop catcher. Like the Marlins, you can run at will on them right now. So you kind of just attack them. But I feel like the failure rate on predicting stolen bases. Dude, the other day I did one of those 6-pick cards on PrizePicks for giggles. All stolen bases. I didn't get a single one. And I'm talking Chandler Simpson, Ohtani's, Corbin Carroll's, speedsters and leadoff spots, bro. So that's a tough market to try and tackle. And then I don't know how I would even come close to creating a fair odds probability. So generally I just throw a blanket over aggressive base running. Because aggressive base runners, they'll just try and run on just about anybody. Not really like, I don't know, on a catcher. Like back in the day, you'd have your Yachties or whatever that you really don't want to run on. You don't really have a bunch of those. You don't have a bunch of those guys that Elite De La Cruz won't try and run on. I think it might be like for a while it felt like catcher spot was the new pitcher spot in the lineup. Take bad hitting catchers because it meant plus framing and stuff. But it feels like we're starting to see some So that's why I like the fantasy. If you are betting, I mean, if you're betting stolen bases just straight up on sports books, but if you're like trying to attack prize picks for stolen bases, dude, you just go get them. We got D-back sign up. Cattell Marte, Pavin Smith, Taylor Schwartz, Thomas. Same as projected. And I believe that's everything I caught up. So, stop eating. Oh, that Reese guy is not in the lineup, so I'm gonna put Augustine Ramirez at the top of the bomb detector. Reese Hoskins number 2. Powers. Do we like anything more than Pete Alonso? I'm not anti Pete Alonso. I'm just wondering. Ion allows a 290 average, 3.38 home run per 9. Bullpen. So based on the research that we've done, let's go enjoy a 5-6 picker. Everybody's not on the same team. Been doing round robins. We're gonna go at Olsen Fantasy. You guys want to sweat it together and we'll just have some fun. Don't cuss me out. Hoskins Fantasy. Meyer strikeouts. You guys want to sweat that? Did it move while I was streaming? It took 5.5. Fudge. Dang, dude. They had 5.5 earlier, bro. They took it off the board on us. Fantasy points for Max Meyer? What do y'all think on that? I don't know if I want to sweat that. I got him at 32. 35. Might have to replace. Let's go Ben Rice, 5.5. Alonzo. I'll go Alonzo on the 6. I don't know why it's not warm and fuzzy, but it'll be fine. Corbin Carroll lead off. We're gonna have to find another. I want one more. One more though. 2, 3, 6 picker. Can we pull from the top of the ball? Anybody in the top 5 of their hitting order that's not on a team we already have? Christian Ellis. The Brewers are not doing it. Gunnar Henderson, nope. Don't look at me like that. Nope. Tatis, you're probably at 9.5 fantasy points, right? Leading off in cores though, it's pretty sexy. 9.5. I don't know, man. I kind of like the idea of staying 7 all the way through. I guess Corbin Carroll is at 7.5. Am I just getting greedy here, Chad? Did we just pick it? Yeah. People will still run on good defensive catchers. There's so much that goes into stealing a base. It's not just the catcher. Pitcher's delivery. Are you running with a righty in the box? That righty blocking your line of vision. Is your shortstop or second base covering second to make the catch on the fly, avoiding the slide, all that. It's just I don't know. I just don't think it would be too noisy to try and project it. You guys should just do 5, y'all. I don't have a Phillies representative. Trey Turner's kind of interesting. He hit for a high average against a high average allowed. He can hit for power. And he gets on. Got 2 guys that can drive him in. So if we can get him at 7.5 or less, maybe add Trey Turner. Get him at 7.5. F it, dude. All right, that's our community card. So like $100 off of that. Some $3 card. Y'all want to sweat it with me? You're going Olsen, Reese Hoskins, Ben Rice, Alonzo, Carroll, Trey Turner. All fantasy point over. Make $100. That way we have a little something of our research in play. And then I'll probably go round robin them to get off the air. Ugh. Yeah, Gunner every day, dude. I think I've been on Gunner 3 days straight for for prize picks. Oh wait, hey, isn't this Flex Friday, Jake? Should I delete that and just flex it? Win or your cash back up to $20. Must opt in and build play use. Dang. Ooh, am I a punk? Maybe I'll just run it again. Money. I go $5 on a, I think it was 25x. They really took our Meyer 5.5. What do we throw? Trey Turner? Trey Turner. Five and a half. Hello. For a lot. Oh, my gut has great. So 25x, so for $100. Kind of like that. Let's just do 5. I'll do 5. I'll take the other one back. One. All right, chat. There's your Flex Friday. I believe I still have a code. I'm pretty sure everyone here has an account though. But if you sign up, code Gundacker, it'll probably work. And we'll do this as our community play. Maybe we'll make this a Friday thing. Community Flex Friday. All fantasy points. All pretty decent lines. Carroll and Turner though. Going for a little. He moved to 6. All right, I'll probably put some out. All right, that's been our stream. Get you guys hanging out. Get out of here. Be in the Discord for a bit. You need me. Appreciate you guys. Hope you crush it. So we're gonna try and do a stream tomorrow. And love you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.